I am Victoria Maclean and welcome to the Wizard's Dungeon YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking to Ken of the Wizard's Dungeon, and we are going to be showing you the incredible Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone first edition book that is being offered in their giveaway to one of you lucky people watching this right now. So without further ado, if you would like to see my wonderful interview with this incredibly generous person, then keep on watching. If you would like me to bring Hogwarts to you, I did it! I've got a smaller hat on and I still managed to blooming hit it with a wand. If you would like me to bring Hogwarts to you, then why not subscribe to my channel? Let's get started. Okay, I'm going to put this one down before I hurt myself, and I think it's just like, you know. So I have just finished a wonderful interview with the incredible Ken from the Wizard's Dungeon. He is the founder and owner of the Wizard's Dungeon, and he is just such a lovely person. You're going to love him. He is the gentleman that is offering the Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone first edition book. Crazy, I know, but we do still have some wonderful people in this world that do want to raise money for charity, and he is one of them. So without further ado, please have a look and enjoy this incredibly insightful interview that I did today. Oh, look at that. Oh my god, it's perfect. I can't, it's absolutely, it's been well looked after, this book.
It is. Yep.
So tell me, what makes this one so special? Because you said that obviously you've got the difference, I mentioned to my followers before, you've got the difference between the library editions and the first edition and the private sale edition. What makes them so special? What makes it so different with this one that you've got here?
It's a non-library one. It didn't go to the libraries, it went for sale. I purchased it from a private dealer. I sold one of the other copies that I had, which was a library one, to fund the purchase of this one. And yeah, it's a lovely copy. It is one of the first 500, yeah, which is the first edition basically, and I had a second edition. I've got a third, fourth and fifth edition as well, and again they'll be given away at later dates too, but we'll get this one moving with the first edition. And yeah, there's loads of books we'll be giving away basically, but I don't know how else I can show you anything else on this. But when I do get down to Wales, when all the lot is finished, I will bring this book and you can
I will cry. You know, I still think you're crazy, right?
Yeah.
It looks perfect. It looks like there's nothing wrong with it. It's I've never seen anything so beautiful. I've never seen anything so mint.
It is a lovely copy, yes.
It's so shiny.
On the back, you'll see the spelling mistake on the back.
Oh yeah. See, now a lot of people don't know about that, do they? That there's an O missing in Philosophers. God, it's so amazing. I can't get over how shiny the book is. Have you polished it, Ken?
I try not to.
So that's the first edition page, and it shows you've got the 10 down to 1, which is in British terms means that the one on the right hand side is a first print.
That's the one.
Are there any other items on that page? Does that have the Taylor and Taylor mistake and the Joanna Rowling mistake? Oh yes, it's got Joanne Rowling, and it's got the Taylor without the gap, is it, between the R and the 1?
Yes.
Oh wow. Because there's a lot of books later on that had those mistakes, but they weren't a first edition.
That's right, yeah. The second edition had a lot of the mistakes as well, and on page 53.
Oh, you got the all-important wand printed twice. Why? Tell me why are you doing this? What's driving you to want to give something that is so valuable away? You're raising money for charity, but what's driven this passion to do this?
Well, I think there's so many reasons. It's hard to kind of pinpoint one or two even. I think mostly for the fact of them being able to start up a whole different sort of a business, and the business itself will help a lot of people out. It's not just a business, you know what I mean? As in, people go into business to make a lot of money, and fair enough, who doesn't? But at the end of the day, lots and lots of people out there are kind of needing more help than others, you know. So it will create work, it will create jobs, and it will give money to charities, well-known charities, and it will also help to build kind of, I've got to pass this one past Warner Brothers first and see if we get there with this one. It's build an indoor, because we're in Scotland here, you don't get much outdoor, so an indoor miniature Hogs Mead, basically, where people can come and enjoy and whatnot. We don't really have anything other than the sites in Scotland where you can come to for anything Harry Potterish type thing. There are some lovely shops in Edinburgh and Glasgow and up north, but nothing really where you could actually be somewhere like you would be in Universal itself. We're over in Florida, and I just feel that it's something smaller, and hopefully it will grow, and you never know, it'll expand. But fingers crossed. I mean, it's all down to the end users out there that want to hopefully try and get this copy, and then as that one goes, we'll get another one out there, and there's translations, first edition translations. I've got 64, I think, from the 70 odd, 76 I think there was in total at this point in time, but I think I've got 64 or something along those lines, and we're going to be giving them all away at certain periods throughout the business lifespan. So the achievement should be that we're going to be doing this over 7 years, the same distance as the book 12.
Harry Potter number.
Yeah, and then hopefully in between that era of those 7 years, we get to buy land and we get to start building, and the creation will be seen on video all the time type thing as it grows and builds, etc. So fingers crossed, that's the sort of a route we want to go.
That is amazing what you're doing. I think it's absolutely outstanding. There's been nobody in the world that I'm aware of that actually has wanted to give, for charity or for any reason, give the holy grail of Harry Potter away to anybody. I mean, this is crazy. It's a first for anyone. It's a world exclusive. It really is an amazing.
Well, everybody's got to remember about life itself. I mean, this year it's been such a terrible year for everybody with the virus, etc. But we're only passing through history, and I keep telling this to everybody. We're only here for a short space of time on the planet, basically. So we're passing through. I think you get more sort of a happiness or something if you help people along the way as well. You know what I mean? So if you're in that sort of a position to do so, then why not? You know? Yeah, you've got Bill Gates, you've got all these other people in the world that have fortunes, absolute, you couldn't spend, you know, and they do wonders for charities all over the place, etc., you know. But it would be great to have that type of figure in your bank account, I suppose. But again, what do you do with it? You know what I mean? As I say, we're only passing through.
Yeah, exactly. You can't bury it in your coffin. It just wouldn't work.
Yeah.
So you mentioned charities and wanting to help people. What's kind of started that off? Is there anything in your life that's made you want to kind of focus specifically? Because people like you are rare, Ken. They are very rare. So for you to want to do that is exceptional. But is there anything specific that's actually driven this passion?
Well, there's a couple of personal points. One of my family members suffered with cancer 12 years ago, I think it was, and obviously he's now fine, which is fantastic, and he was helped along the road by a charity, etc. as well. I won't say too much about my own self. I did have a touch of cancer a long time ago, but it was melanoma. So I was in New Zealand, and it was taken care of rapidly. Unbelievable health service they have out there. But yeah, it's quite brilliant. And the other one is I watched a YouTube video once of I don't know if I'm allowed to say the name of the person, but in Florida anyway. And they took them to this children's area where both Walt Disney and Universal complexes build for children to go and spend time there. Something you would need to watch, and you'll see what I mean about what actually happens there, and it is incredible what they do. So a lot of the lot of goodness does come from the money that Walt Disney and Universal create in the world as well, you know, and I just thought it'd be great to give something back as well, you know. I mean, and as I say, it will create jobs as well, because as you know as well as I do, there's people out there that don't have any more work at the moment, and there's no kind of a light at the end of the tunnel at the moment as well. And hopefully somewhere along the line, vaccine will come along and everybody will be sort of back to some sort of a normality, and we can all go to Florida again.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah. That would be good. Yeah.
Oh, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? We'd be there with bells on, in costume, of course.
Yes, yes, yes.
So tell me what you've mentioned. Obviously, I've mentioned to my followers that the value of this book is up to £100,000.
Yeah.
Can that fluctuate? I mean, obviously, these books, obviously, whenever they're in the press, are absolutely just completely hounded by people. Everyone wants to know where they're going, but the value obviously changes, doesn't it?
Yeah, it all depends on which auction house is doing the sale, etc. Suppose your bigger auction houses like Sotheby's, etc., sort of, because their advertising campaign prior to it really brings in a lot of people, and maybe the lesser ones don't have so many advertisements going up, etc. So they have sold in the past year from, I think the lowest one I saw sold was about 35,000. But it was in a real bad condition. And again, condition counts for a lot as well. And there was one sold in America end of last year, I think it was, for $150,000. It was signed. That does make a difference too. And also, I think there was one sold in Sotheby's earlier this year for about 120,000.
Yes,
Along those lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was about 120,000. Again, don't quote me on that, please, because
Wasn't that a private book? It wasn't a library copy, is that right?
that was a private one. Yes,
Yeah.
I can't remember if that one was signed or not right enough. But yeah, if it does have J.K. Rowling's signature, and it is worth a lot more money, and it does make for more people want to bid on it, which again raises the price of it. And one sold a couple of weeks ago, or a week ago or so, for 75,000 down in England, and it had pictures pasted in the inside, which I actually didn't think it would achieve that figure, but it did. Yes, the price can fluctuate, but in real terms also, I mean, the book when it first came out, let me just see the back of it.
I'm loving your background, by the way.
Yeah. They had those made.
They are brilliant.
Yeah. When the book first came out, it was £10.99 in 1997. So, what can you say? It's just going up and up and up and up and up, and no doubt there are collectors all over the world that want these books. Maybe not just Harry Potter collectors, but collectors of books that want them to put them into storage, and then maybe 10, 15, 20 years later bring them back out, because 23 years ago it was £11. Now, again, you could safely say £30,000. I mean, to go from £11 to £30,000 in 23 years is just incredible. Never mind going up to the figures of hundreds of thousands of pounds. Do you know what I mean? So it's amazing what has been, why it's sought after. I have absolutely no idea, but it's an incredible set of movies and books, and the paraphernalia, the memorabilia. I mean, J.K. Rowling's done a wonderful thing with what she's brought out, and she's got a lot of people reading, which is brilliant too. But I don't know why it's so costly. I really don't. Everything's only worth what somebody's willing to pay for it at the end of the day as well. But why it's worth that amount, I don't know. I couldn't put my finger on it.
The media has a hand in it somehow, because obviously Harry Potter, anything with Harry Potter in is a media frenzy kind of job. But they've really, it's like the Beatles mania. I think J.K. Rowling actually says that. It's the Beatles mania of today. It's kind of anything with that stamp on it. It's just gone crazy. But I honestly believe that the media have been behind quite a lot of that.
Yeah,
kind of pushing
probably,
it as well.
I feel as if the movies had a lot to do with the sort of a craze that happened with Harry Potter. I could be totally wrong. I mean, it could well be just the reading of it that created the craze in the first place, but I feel that the movies were so good.
They made
That,
it real. They
yeah,
brought out
yeah,
the reality for us. To actually, we had it
yeah,
in our heads, and that was fair enough. But actually, physically seeing it in front of you, and for people who didn't want to read the books, they watched the films, and
yeah,
vice versa.
yeah.
It just made it so real. And then obviously, thanks to companies like Noble Collection, you can
Yes,
buy these beautiful items that you
yeah,
see on screen, and you can bring them in your own home. I mean, that for
exactly.
me as a collector
Yeah,
is
yeah.
just makes it so magical. How long have you been
Well, you
collecting?
hold the world records. You
I
should
do
know.
hold the
You're the
for
expert.
now. For now. I'm sure somebody will take it from me soon, and that's perfectly fine. I'm not doing it again, ever. So how long have you been collecting for these books?
Wow. Maybe as far back as 2002,
Oh my God, so
2003,
you
something like
really
that.
started early.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was perchance, to be honest with you, it was a signed copy of a book. I've never really collected anything in the way of signatures or anything like that in my life. I'm a big model collector, but Star Wars, etc. Because
I
that
have
was that.
seen your 6 foot
Yeah,
Millennium Falcon behind you in your background. It's amazing.
yeah. Well, I was 11 when Star Wars came out, so that's the same thing as with Harry Potter with the younger generation, basically. So,
Yeah.
so Star Wars is a big thing for me, or was, and still is type thing. But yeah, I got offered a book a way back in 2002, 2003, and it had the signature in it of J.K. Rowling. And I thought, oh, right, how many books are there in total? So there was 7, and I thought, oh, right, okay, I'll try and collect the 7. And that turned out to be easy in some things, and just perchance I saw an advert once, and I honestly can't remember the year it was, and it was somebody selling a copy, and and he's now very, very well known in the Harry Potter world, Peter,
Yeah.
and very, very nice gentleman, and does wonders on YouTube, so I can see. And I did meet him up in late January this year in Florida, and very briefly, unfortunately, and love to meet him again. And no doubt he's got a million stories to tell too.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah. So and it ended up being Peter that I purchased the first Philosopher Stone that I had from, and that was a first edition, first print
And
copy. So
that's the one that I helped sell him, isn't it? Through
I,
eBay.
I've honestly no idea. I've no
It's
idea.
so bizarre how it
Yeah,
all kind of ties in together, isn't it? It's
yeah,
crazy how the Harry Potter world is actually quite a small world in collecting.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
you've
yeah.
only been collecting 1 year less than me, which is crazy.
Okay.
I started in 2001. You started in 2002. I have
Yes. Yeah.
a first edition. I have a fourth edition hardback of the Harry Potter and Philosopher's Stone. How much is
Right.
that worth?
Well, you'd probably have to speak to a better expert than me. I'm not really an expert in the prices,
I've
but
never looked
I'm,
into it.
I'm pretty sure you would be anywhere from £1,000 to £2,000 maybe, for a fourth print. Yeah. I did sell a second print for, I think it was 12,000.
Oh
That was
my
a second print.
God.
Yeah, yeah, and that was just last year, I think it was, and obviously they exponentially get less because there was more production of them as the print line went on. But you would, and Peter Kenneth himself, the Potter collector, he would be able to tell you
No, straight away.
far more refined figure than I could, to be
Yeah.
absolutely honest with you. He is so up to date with everything. His collection is awesome,
Yes,
absolutely awesome.
he is
Yeah,
incredible. Well, he's the only person in the world, isn't he, that has every single foreign illustration. He has every single
I think so. Yeah,
language book. So
yes,
I mean, he collected the last one. Was it about a year and a half ago or 2 years ago? He opened it on his channel because I remember watching, and he was so proud that he finally
yeah.
had that last. I think it's like an Israeli copy or something.
It could well have been that.
And he
It
was
could
so
well have
proud
been.
to
Yeah,
have it.
yeah,
I remember
yeah.
actually trying to look for it because he said, "Do you know anybody? I'm really reaching out. Do you know anybody who has this that they would be willing to part with it?" And I did reach out because my friend was in the country at the time working, and she'd been going into all these charity shops to look, and she couldn't find one anywhere. So bless him, he managed to get it in the end.
Yeah, he has got a phenomenal collection. Yes,
Oh,
and I would hate to put a figure on that too.
can you imagine if this first edition that you're giving away is worth up to £100,000 today, and he's got every single first edition print in every language?
And I think every one of them that he has is in spectacular condition too.
Oh, he's pretty. He's
Yep.
pretty well. He's
Yep.
like, you're gonna have something. I think it's because I remember buying something that I was after for so long. It was a golden snitch puzzle, and when I received it, it was beautiful. But then I found another one later on that was in more beautiful condition. So obviously that one, I gave it away in a giveaway, but. Stupid me, but it did its purpose. But I remember I finally got the one that I really liked that was beautiful. So you do, don't you? You want that one item, and then while you've got that in your possession, you will continue to look for a better version. So
Exactly.
what us collectors do, isn't it?
I think that's what Peter actually did when he sold his first edition as well. I think he'd been contacted and he was buying another one, and obviously this one became surplus to requirement for him. No doubt there's regret about parting with it now, you know, because of the values, but nobody foresaw any of that happening, the value of things.
Because wasn't that first, didn't that get restored, the one that he had, do you remember?
I believe so, yes.
I mean, can that affect the value though? I mean, I'm asking as a collector now, not as in the channel. Can that affect it?
Yes, it can put a lot of collectors off, but it doesn't affect it really greatly, because I had one also and it was restored and I sold it for a phenomenal figure, and the person that wanted to buy it did not care if it was restored or not. So yes, there are people out there that do not want anything touched. It's like finding an old coin and from,
you can't clean them, can you?
Whatever. Yeah, don't clean them, you know. Yes, exactly. So it's a conflict of interest type thing. Some people do like it, some people don't, you know, and just the way people are, you know what I mean, and whatnot. But I personally don't think it affects the value too much, if it does in any way. But I'm not a wholesome collector of those items, so it's more of an expert, or maybe go to Sotheby's and speak to an expert or something, and they maybe give you a far better definition of what that would make against a copy, you know. But I personally don't think it matters too much. And as I say, even if you had her signature in it, wow, that's just amazing, you know. So
exactly. That's crazy. But she's very much of a recluse now, isn't she? So it's almost impossible to get it now.
I believe so. I've obviously we only hear stories, and because we don't get to meet the lady, but I don't believe she signs anything. But I think that's maybe for a good reason as well. Maybe she doesn't want to, because there's so many fraudulent copies out there now. It's unbelievable, you know. And I don't want to mention places that you could go to see so many wrong copies, you know, and because I don't want to be that type of person. I'm not.
I'll do it
I'm
for
not,
you. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm not an investigator. I'm not.
That's what I say. It's like if somebody wants to buy a so-called Harry Potter prop that was on the set, unless you saw it walked off the set, do not touch it, because they were meticulous about their items on set. It's the same with the book, unless it's got the all-important holographic sticker on the back, obviously, that proves that it's a J.K. Rowling autograph, which obviously they put on after, I think it's in Goblet of Fire, didn't they start putting them on the books? And then if you see them physically sign it, don't touch it.
Unfortunately, that's now no good to you anymore either. That has been copied as well. Yeah, just a couple of weeks ago, I received a phone call just regarding that one item. Do not touch, one with a hologram on it now. So it's extremely difficult. I mean, Peter on his website has got legitimate signatures from different years, so that you can make comparisons.
Yeah.
And by all means, I mean, he's open to be contacted. And
he confirmed my tattoo for me that it was J.K. Rowling's handwriting. He does it all.
And also Carly from All the Pretty Books in Texas, she's very, very good at pinpointing the rights and wrongs of a signature. And you have a gentleman up in County Durham, Adam Houston, and he's extremely good at that as well. So I would go in those three directions if I was looking for verification of a signature of J.K. Rowling. Those three, I would not doubt their word.
Oh, bless
if they said it was real, then that's the way I would go with it. Yeah. Personally, I don't have that expertise.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not good at that. So I have, I think, I think that's it. Is there anything else you'd like me to add to this video? Is there anything coming from the Wizard's Dungeon that we need to keep an eye out that's exciting and just might, you know, they have to stay tuned?
Well, the subscription boxes next year are going to be very different from what everybody else is sort of doing or have done, basically. And all the items in every one of the box will be exclusive to the Wizard's Dungeon only. You will not be able to purchase them from anywhere else. Some of them, of the items, will come with certificates of authenticity as well, and they'll be done by the Wizard's Dungeon also, and with the approval of the powers that be.
The all-important party up there that we love.
Because they have great power.
All hail.
Yeah, definitely.
But if you've got them on your side, then you're on to a winner, obviously.
Yeah. Everything we do has to come with approval from those bodies, basically, of Warner Brothers, etc.
And that's what I love about the Wizard's Dungeon, is because you are doing it with, and you are constantly in contact with them about your items, which makes you the only company in the UK that's doing this. So it's
everything processed. Everything goes through the procession.
It's very rare. It's amazing, and I can't believe Adam just came in to pinch something from my props corner.
Probably a wand.
To shut me up, probably. Well, thank you so much for this interview, my love. It has been an absolute pleasure. I can't wait to share
You're
this
most
with
welcome.
you. So that's it. If there is anything that you want to ask, please be sure to write it down in the comments below. Make sure you check out the future subscription boxes that are starting to be shipped in January from the Wizard's Dungeon. It sounds like they are going to be incredible. I will be doing the first look for the Wizard's Dungeon for the subscription boxes, so make sure you look out for that unboxing on my Victoria Maclean YouTube channel. Until next time, take care. I love you all, and I will speak to you very, very soon. Bye-bye. Want to check out more of my content? Take a look at this video right here or this video right here. Don't forget to like and subscribe.